Hi friends, welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. Today I have some of our favorite snowman DIYs. So with all that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, here is DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I am using this snowman wreath form from Dollar Tree, some Bonnie craft cord I got off of Amazon, some snowflakes from Dollar Tree, and some mini snowflakes that I got from Hobby Lobby. So I start off by wrapping this wreath frame with my craft cord, and this cord is fusible, so it fuses into itself. And I was struggling, my lighter's getting empty, and so I tried to fuse it, but I ended up having to use hot glue because I couldn't get my lighter to light well enough. So then once I had that all taken care of, I went ahead and started wrapping the cord around the snowman, and I just start there at the neck, and I'm wrapping between the neck and the head, and then I just go and wrap the whole body and then work my way back up to the head, and I wrap the whole head. And I left the hat and the arms I did not wrap them. Let's just put it that way. Then once that was all done, I took my Waverly chalk paint in the color white, and I painted all of the snowflakes with a really light coating of paint because I wanted to have some of that natural wood look to kind of give it a distressed look. Then I went in and hot glued them onto the snowman, trying to cover up the little holes. I did for the most part, but there was a few that I wasn't paying attention and didn't cover up the little holes. So then once I got the big ones all around the body, I took my little ones and I'm just going to hot glue them all around the head part of that snowman. And I think I took 4 different mini snowflake designs and just kind of alternated them. Then once I had that all on, I took some black yarn that I have. Most of you probably don't know I'm a knitter and a crocheter, so I have tons of yarn. And I just hot glued it to the brim of the hat there, and then I just took my yarn and just started wrapping it all around the perimeter of that hat. So I just go all around the edges, and then I leave the middle blank because I'm going to wrap that separately. So once I have that all done, I take my yarn and I hot glue it to the back of the hat, and then I just start wrapping it around the width of that hat all the way around until I get to the bottom. And then I just pretty much do the same thing with the hands. I just take a little piece, hot glue it, and then wrap it around each finger. After that, I took some buffalo check ribbon, black plaid ribbon, and I'm just going to hot glue some to that hat there. And I'm just going to cut it down and use some hot glue to glue it in place in the back. And then after that, I'm going to take some bits and pieces. This was a ornament from Walmart, a mini ornament. So I cut off the little hanging piece and I'm just hot gluing it. It's a pine cone to that hat. Took some of these little berries from a pick from Dollar Tree and hot gluing them. And then these little greenery bushes I got from a package of stuff from Walmart and hot gluing that all together. And then after that, I took this little bow that you get from Dollar Tree and I pushed those twist ties in between the snowflake and to the back, and then just twisted it on so he has a little bow tie. And then after that, I take this little bird that I got from Hobby Lobby. It was a pack of 4, and I'm just clipping it onto his little fingers, and there he is. I think he is so cute. A little on the flaky side, but he's very cute. You'll have to let me know what you think of this one in the comment box below. So I'm going to start out by using my Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster and antique wax. I'm going to use a strip of this fabric I got from Hobby Lobby, and then 3 of these wood ornament pieces I got from Amazon, and then this cutting board from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to start off by taking a paper towel and just adding some of that antique wax over my cutting board, and I do this the front and the back. I just wanted, again, give it a more darker finish, which gives it a little more of a rustic look. After that, I took my chip brush here, and I am just doing a dry brushing all along the middle of each one of those wood rounds, and I just didn't want it to be a real thick coverage, and so that's why I decided to just kind of do more of a dry brushing. Once they were done, I took my black Sharpie here, and I'm just making some eyes for the snowman, and then I'm going to make a smile by just making polka dots into a smile form. And then after I have this smile all completed, I'm going to use that little orange Sharpie to make his nose. And I'm just going to do a triangle, but I'm going to do it like sideways, a sideways triangle. And then I just colored it in. And then once I was done with that, I took my pieces and I'm just going to start hot gluing. Now this is the biggest piece out of all, and then the next one was a little bit smaller, and then of course the head was even smaller. So I'm just going to hot glue each piece in place, just like you see. I'm covering up the little ornament hole they have there, and then I'm going to add the head. And you guys, this thing comes out so adorable. I just absolutely love how this came out. And then after that, I'm going to take some of that fabric, I cut it down, and I just tied a little knot in the middle, and then I hot glued it around his neck to look like a scarf. Then I took the back of a paintbrush, and I'm just going around making dots all along the rest of that cutting board so that it looks like snow falling. And then after I had that done, I decided to just kind of make it look like a mound of snow underneath that snowman. And I'm just taking that plaster and just kind of painting it all in. And I'll say it again. I really love the way this came out. So once I had it to the way I liked it, I took my Sharpie and I colored in a couple of buttons for the snowman, just like you see right there. And then I took some felt and I cut down a little square and a long rectangle piece, and I'm just going to hot glue that square on top of the snowman's head. And then I'm going to put the rectangle piece right above it so he has a little hat. I don't know why I glued all the way across when it's only going to be part of it that's glued down. Oh my goodness. So after that, I took a tag. I got these tags, I believe, from Hobby Lobby, and I am just writing out Merry Christmas. Now, when I write it out, I am doing little dots. I got this from Tracy at, what's her I can't think of her channel name. I'll have it in my description box. Country Crafts, something country. But anyway, she calls them happy dots. And so I am just trying my best to make this look cute because I don't like my handwriting, but I think it came out pretty cute. Adding those little dots really does help. So I'm just writing out Merry Christmas and doing all of that. And then I took a black paint pen and I'm just going and coloring all around the edge of that tag. I just think it gives it just another depth of dimension, and I don't know, I just really like the way it came out. After that, I decided to take my antique wax. I have a little sponge brush here, and I'm just sponging it kind of on, brushing it kind of on, just to kind of darken that tag a little bit more, make it a little more antique-ish looking. Then I took some more of that fabric, and I'm just tying a knot in it as well. I cut it down, tied a knot in it, and then I'm going to hot glue it right where that hole on that tag is. And then after that, I'm just going to glue it onto my sign right next to the snowman. Oh, it's so cute. Then I took some tumbling tower blocks. I'm going to take 2 sets of 3 and I'm hot gluing them together. Now these came in that color. The box of tumbling tower blocks that I got from Dollar Tree. Some of them were natural color and some of them were painted brown. So I'm just hot gluing them to the back of my cutting board there so it will stand. And then I took one of these picks and I cut off the pick part, and I'm just going to hot glue this right along so it looks like a little tree there in the forest with the snowman. And I absolutely love how this came out. You will have to let me know what you think about this one as well, but I just think it is so stinking adorable. Okay, it is a time for a celebration of your recreations. And Lauren made all of these beautiful pieces, and look at her beautiful trees that she's decorated. Thank you so much for sharing these, Lauren. And then we have Sarah, who made all of these lovely pieces. I love them all. They're just so pretty. Thank you so much, Sarah. And then we have Lynette, who recreated my little snowman piece and gave them a little fireplace, and then this beautiful pine cone piece. Thank you so much. And if you have something you've created that you would like me to showcase, you can email pictures to rusticandlacediy@gmail.com, or you can send them to me through Instagram or Facebook Messenger. So I took this 8-inch chunky slat from Dollar Tree and this wood house from Dollar Tree. I painted them both with my night sky. I did the front and the back. And then once they were dry, I took these sticker letters, and I'm going to paint each letter that I am going to use with my white chalk paint. And I'm showing you guys this because I tell you guys all the time, you know, if you don't have a Cricut or whatever, you can use stickers and stuff. And I thought I'm going to show you guys, instead of using my Cricut again, just, you know, how that would work. So I just decided to take, and these, if I haven't said it, these stickers came from Dollar Tree. I've had them in my stash for a while, but I just went through, and in my mind, I was spelling out the words I was going to use and just finding those letters and going over them. And then once they were all dry, I did have to do like 2 coats so that you didn't see the black. I'm taking my little Cricut tool here. Now you can get these from Dollar Tree even if you don't have a Cricut. They're great tools to use. I love to use them for a lot of things. But I'm just going to pick out all my letters, and then I'm going to stick them in place, and I'm using my square ruler to help me make sure they're straight. Now it seemed like they weren't wanting to stick very well, so I was trying to think of what else I could have done. I probably could have used maybe a glue stick to help add some more adhesive to it, or even my spray adhesive if I would have had it like already. I don't know, that might have been kind of hard because of the ruler. But yeah, if you do this, you might want to make sure that you have maybe like a glue stick on hand in case you need to add some to the back to add a little more stickiness to them. After I had it all done, I am going to take this snowflake that was pre-painted. I had it in my stash, and this is from a pack of wood snowflakes from Hobby Lobby, and I just glued it down there on the bottom part of the house. And then I'm taking my Snow Tech. Now I got this from Hobby Lobby. You can get it on Amazon, but it seems like every time I've tried to order it from Amazon, it was going to take a couple weeks to get it, and Hobby Lobby had it. So I'm just going to go over the top of my house with that Snow Tech to make it look like it has snow on it. And then after that, I took some of these snowmen. I got these when they were 50% off at Hobby Lobby. And I am going to take 2 of them, and I'm going to paint the bottom, the body, and the head with my white. I didn't paint the very bottom because I'm going to glue it, so no need to paint it. And once I had both of those little snowmen painted, their bodies, I'm going to take a really small paintbrush, and I'm going to go around the inside part of the hat with my ink by Waverly. And then I'm going to paint the rest, the outside part of the hat with that same ink color, which is basically black. And then after that, after I had both of those snowman hats all painted and dried, I took a little Sharpie, and I'm just drawing in some faces on my snowman, and then an orange Sharpie to color in the nose. And after that, I took my wood glue and hot glue, and I'm going to glue them onto my chunky slat here. I know it's a weird saying, huh? That's what they call them. That's what's on the tag, is chunky slats. I'm going to hot glue one on each end, and then I'm going to use the same wood glue and hot glue to glue that house down onto the base. And then I decided to go ahead and add some snow text on the bottom as well. I don't know why I'm pausing there. I think I was watching TV. And then after that, I am done. That's all there was for this one. It's so simple and sweet and just a fun little shelf sitter to have. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one. Okay, DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I took 2 of those hanging signs from Dollar Tree, connecting them with my giant craft sticks, wood glue, and hot glue. Just gluing that onto the back of them. And then I'm going to cover up the 2 middle holes using some spackling from Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to paint front and back with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Dusk. And then once that was all dry, I took these wood ornaments from Woodpecker Crafts, and I'm going to paint them with my Snow White color. I am a Woodpecker Craft affiliate. I do have a link to them in my description box. If you're interested in ordering anything through them, I would appreciate it. So then once they were dry, I took my Mod Podge and I covered the front of each one of them with my Mod Podge, and then I just let that dry. And then I had these adorable rice paper snowman pages from decoupagenapkin.com, which I'm an affiliate to as well. And I laid it on my ornaments there, covered it with my parchment paper, went over it with my heat press, what I always do. And then I added some more Mod Podge on the top to give it that protective coat. Once it was dry, I went ahead and just sanded the corners so that that paper fit nicely on there. And then I took this brushed metal. It is in the color of brushed silver by Folk Art. I think I got this at Walmart, either Walmart or Hobby Lobby, one or the other. And I am just going to brush it on. Now this is very, very thin, so I'm going to end up doing 2 coats on each one there. And yeah, you'll see. I'm just going to, first I thought I was going to just brush it along the front part of my ornament, but then I ended up doing all around my picture, just like you see. And I really was kind of thinking about just going around the edge with this, but then, I don't know, I remembered I had this. This is Extreme Glitter Silver by Folk Art. This I think I originally got it from Walmart and couldn't find any more when I ran out and ended up ordering it through Amazon. But this is really clear, but it has a real glittery look to it. So I just going to go over that first silver with it. And I just love that look. Anyway, so then once that was done, I laid my ornaments out on the boards and marked where I had them laid. Then I'm going to use my Titebond Quick and Thick multi-surface glue, and I'm just going to glue the back, or put it all over the back, and then add that to my sign in the pattern that you see there. And then these are so cute. And then I had this this word. It says Mary. It came from Hobby Lobby. It was like in their, I think, package section. It says something about package decor, something like that on the tag, but I'm just going to use that brush silver all over it. I'm going to do the same thing on this that I did on the ornaments with that, both silvers. I think I did, yeah. And then I took my Snow Text, which I also got from Hobby Lobby, and you can get on Amazon as well. It's just cheaper at Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to go over the top part of my word and anywhere where snow would land if it was snowing. And then I'm going to take my Titebond glue here, rub it all around the back of it, and then I'm just going to glue that to the top of my sign, because these are just some merry snowmen. And then I got these little snowflakes from Amazon as well, and I'm just going to glue some all around my board. I just love the effect that it gave to my sign. And then I'm going to take some, this is some ribbon I got years and years and years ago when I lived in Oregon at a place called Craft Warehouse.
I was doing a decorating or making decorations for my mother-in-law's 85th birthday, and it was all winter theme, and that's when I got this, and it's been in my stash all this time, so I thought I would use this. So I'm just making some bows, doing the awareness ribbons, scrunching them up in the middle, using some of my silver cord from Hobby Lobby to tie around it, dovetailing the ends, and then gluing them on the top of each ornament. I'm going to take some more of that silver cording and just make some regular shoestring bows here. And then I'm going to just cut the tails down a little bit and glue that into the front of my little white bows that I made. And then I'm going to take one of those snowflakes and I'm going to glue it right in the middle of my bow. And then I'm going to take another snowflake and just glue it onto my little snowman signs. And then I'm just going to use some of that silver cording for a hanger. And this thing is so cute. I love how this came out. I hope you do as well. And here comes the reveal on that. And look how cute that is. I love this. Oh my goodness, it is just so stinking cute. I hope you like it as well. Let me know in the comment box below. Okay, DIY number 2. So I have this roll. This came from a roll of vinyl. I'm going to mark the middle spot. I marked it, and then I'm going to use my box cutter to cut it in half. You could probably use a toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll. You could probably make either one of those work for this. But I've seen these all over Pinterest, and I just thought they were so adorable, and I really wanted to make some. So if you've seen them already, I apologize, but I just really wanted to make some. So once they were cut in half, I'm going to paint them with my Snow White color by Waverly. And then I'm going to use my pencil here to draw in their little faces. And I always like doing this just because I am not very good at drawing myself. I'm getting better since I started my channel, but I like to use that pencil so that way if I mess up, I can erase it and then go from there. Then I'm going to take my markers here, my paint markers, and I'm just going to trace out my outline and then color in those eyes there. Man, I have this really sped up, and look how slow it looks like I'm going. That's how careful I'm trying to be. So then I'm just going to make some little dots for the mouth for my snowman. I'm going to take my orange paint marker. It's a Posca paint marker. I'm going to just trace over the nose, and then I'm just going to color that all in with my orange color as well. And after I have that all done, I am going to use a little bit of blue to kind of help cover. I started thinking, oh, I think I added that black too high in there, but I just wanted a little line of blue just to give you a hint of blue in that. And then I'm going to take my white paint marker and make some little shadow dots in the eyes there. And then I'm going to take my glue, and I am just going to make all these little glue drippings from the top, my hot glue here. And I'm just going to go all the way around. I was really worried it was going to drip all the way down to my finger, but it didn't. So it started cooling right away. It didn't take very long for it to cool. And once it was cool, I took some more white chalk paint, and I'm just going to brush that white paint all over that hot glue. And then when I was done with that, I'm taking my Mod Podge. Make sure that your ink for the face is dry because you don't want to smear it. And then I'm going to put diamond dust all over this. Oh my goodness, you guys, these came out so adorable. I just love them. So I'm just going to brush this all around, all of them. And then there we go. I'm just going to sprinkle that diamond dust. Now, if you've never used diamond dust, be careful. It is crushed glass, and so it can get a little pokey. I did have someone say they have one stuck in their finger or a souvenir from it. So yeah, be careful. So then after I was done with that, I took these snowflake ornaments from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cover or fill in the holes with that plaster or spackling, whatever it is. And then I'm going to paint it with my white. And then I'm going to just use my hot glue to glue those little snowmen onto the snowflake base. I'm going to take some of these come off of a candle wreath or candle ring, whatever you want to call them. I'm just going to hot glue them. Those are from Hobby Lobby. And then I'm going to take this ribbon. I'm going to make a finger bow. So I wrapped my fingers and then I came between my fingers with the end and up around and then tie it. I'm sorry, this was not a very good showing of how to do it. It's the same way I do the twine. It's just using ribbon. And then I'm going to dovetail the ends, which you just fold in half and cut at an angle. And then this ribbon, you guys came from, this one came from Hobby Lobby. There's the spool is almost the exact same, and that came from Walmart. But I like the Hobby Lobby one a little bit better. It's got a little more green, but I think I'm out of the Hobby Lobby one. I don't know if they still have it. I hope they do, because I just love that ribbon. Anyways, I'm going to add some berries and a pine cone. And then I took 2 of these pails from Hobby Lobby. Not Hobby Lobby, Dollar Tree. Oh my goodness. I removed the wire hanger there, traced it out on some felt, cut it out, and then I also traced out that 3-inch wood round. I don't know. I'm confused what I did. Anyways, I'm tracing the middle part out again, and then I'm going to cut it the middle. Oh my goodness. I was too busy talking about the ribbon. I got sidetracked. Okay, so I'm going to cut the middle of this out, and then I'm going to sand those pails just a little bit, and then I'm going to wipe them off. And then I'm going to paint those and the wood rounds with my Waverly Chalk paint in the color ink, which is black. Those little wood rounds, I did not paint the middle. I just mainly painted around the edges. And then I'm going to hot glue the wood rounds to the top of my snowman here. I'm going to take some Fix-All glue from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put it around, leaving some spaces for my hot glue. And then I'm going to add my hot glue on those open spaces, because you really don't want those two to mix, because they cancel each other out. Then I'm going to put that on top of my wood round, and then I'm going to go around the pail with some more hot glue, and I'm going to add that piece of felt that I cut down, and I'm going to push it down into that hot glue. Then I took some more of that ribbon and I cut it in half, and then I'm using my lighter to kind of singe off the edges so that it doesn't fray. And then I'm just going to glue that on to around the hat, the top part of the hat. And after I have it all hot glued on, I'm going to take some of this red cording I get from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to add that to the bottom. You could still kind of see the edge being a little rough of that ribbon, and I wanted to cover it up, and it kind of matched the top part of that ribbon anyways. And then I'm just going to add some more of this greenery from the candle wreath from Hobby Lobby to the top of the hat, and another berry. Then I decided to take some Snow Tex and go all around the top part of the hat. I'm going to go around the brim and around the greenery pieces and everything, and then I'm going to add a candle. Now, most of these that I've seen on Pinterest don't have a hat. The light just sticks right in. Well, my little lights wouldn't fit in. The hole was just a little too narrow. So I thought, let's give them a top hat. And you guys, if you could find a black candle on that, it would be even better. I had one black candle and it was so cute. But I love how these came out. So I'm going to take some of these styrofoam balls from Walmart, and I'm going to brush some Mod Podge all over them. I have 6 of them I'm going to use. As you can see, I put a skewer in it to hold it. Then once I had it Mod Podged all over it, I'm going to dump it in some faux snow from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to make sure it is fully covered, and then set it out to just dry a little bit. And then once I had all of them done, I'm going to add some hot glue. I probably added a little too much there because it's probably starting to melt my ball. But I'm going to take another ball and I'm going to put it through, not totally in the middle, just more off to the side. Now this one I did the same thing, but I wish it would have been a little bit more centered. But I'm going to put another one on, and then I'm going to put a fourth one. 1 to 4. Then I'm going to take that last 2. I'm going to put the skewer in. I'm going to cut it down. Then I'm going to put one, you'll see right there, and then I'm going to cut that one down. I end up having to cut this one down shorter because it was too long, and then I poked it through and went, dang it. So I do end up in the long run adding a little hot glue so it doesn't move around. Anyways, I kept having to cut it down because it was too long. Okay, so then I took one of these. Now this was from those candle wreaths from Hobby Lobby. This was from a couple of years ago. This is how they used to have them. I don't think they have them like that anymore, but I'm going to use some of the wire that's on it, and I'm making some hands, and I'm just I folded that wire in half. I'm kind of twisted it and scrunching it together with my needle nose plier. Then I'm going to take another piece of that wire, and I'm going to, after I twisted it around that, after that hoop, no, after the loop, I twisted a little bit more, and then I took some more wire and I made another loop, and I'm just squishing it together again. You guys, I played around with this a lot, and I'm sure you probably can't really tell what I'm doing. It's kind of hard. If you want to recreate it, just kind of make loops and squish them, and then twist and make another loop, twist, make another loop. It took me a while to figure out how to do this or how I was going to do it. I almost went back to Hobby Lobby to buy the ones that they already have made. In fact, they might have been better. So anyways, they came out okay. I should have probably made them just a little bit longer than I did, but they work. Anyways, once I had it, I twisted all the way down and then cut it off, and I made 4 of those, and then I'm just going to push them into some of them. One is going to have one, you're going to see 2 hands. The other 2, you're going to see 1 hand on each side. So if you haven't guessed, we are building a snowman. Now, this is not my original idea. I saw someone on TikTok do that. Now, if I can think, I don't know if I can figure out a way to post that link, but it was so stinking adorable. I had to recreate it. So as you can see, I took some more wire and put it on the head of one of them to, you'll see why here in a little bit. But I'm going to take some felt. I'm going to make a top hat. So I made a little circle there. I'm going to take some of it, hot glue it together. I'm going to cut out another little piece and hot glue that on the top. Then I'm going to take this round piece. I'm going to cut a slit in the middle. I'm going to glue that longer piece on top, and then I'm just going to glue that all together. The reason why I glue that slit was to go over that dowel or the skewer that was coming out of the top snowman. Then I'm going to wrap this cording around it, and I'm going to add some little pom-poms to that wire on the second one so that it looks like it has earmuffs on. I do that to the bottom one as well. I decided to just give the bottom one earmuffs. I decided to just go ahead and take some of these bows from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to glue them on. You could make a scarf if you want. That's what the original creator did, and she made some scarves. But I was kind of in a hurry. I'm just going to make a face here, and then I'm going to use these little resin noses that I got from Amazon. My mom is going to have surgery again tomorrow, and we just found out today. So I was trying to hurry up and get this all done so that I could get it uploaded for you guys for tomorrow. So after I got the 3rd snowman's face done, I'm going to take some of this slick, what is that? Puff paint. I just put a whole bunch, and I'm just going to cover that little wood piece that I glued it on. Now these little wood pieces came from Hobby Lobby. You could use the ones from Dollar Tree. I took these little cute cardinals that I got from Amazon and glued one there. I'm going to take some bells, and I'm going to add some of the little cord that I use from Hobby Lobby, tie little loops, cut little and tie knots. And then I'm going to add 1 to 2 of the snowman's hands. This is a tree that I got last year from Temu. I think it was last year. I'm just going to glue that on. And then this is a little snowman that came from Hobby Lobby. So I just kind of dressed it up a little bit. But oh my goodness, I just love how these came out. Oh, if I can link the other one in the description box so you can see it, I will. But oh my goodness, this is just too adorable. Here's DIY number 2. So I'm going to use 3 tumbling tower blocks. I'm going to use this 8-inch and this 10-inch chunky slat from Dollar Tree. This really cute napkin that Kathy Jo had sent me. I'm going to use some Waverly chalk paint in the color ink and this Parakeet by Apple Barrel. I'm also going to use my Waverly chalk paints in the color crimson and white. I'm going to use these snowman cutouts. I got these from Amazon. It came with 2 sets. I thought they were so cute, and I wanted to try them out. And then, of course, this snowflake from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to start off by painting everything white. Everything. It took me forever, or at least it felt like it. When I was done, I took my Mod Podge here,
and I'm just going over the middle of my snowflake, and then I'm going to set it aside and let it dry. While it was drying, I took some of these little bamboo sticks that I have in my Amazon store. I got these like 2 years ago and I'm still working on them. But I decided I wanted to frame this napkin. So I am just cutting these out to fit around that napkin, and I am making the ends, what do you call it? Mitering the ends? I don't know, making them at an angle. After that, I removed the backing from that napkin. I'm going to place it right where that Mod Podge is, place some parchment paper over it, and go over that with my heat press. That way it reactivates that Mod Podge and allows that napkin to stick to it. After that, I'm just going to cover the top part of my napkin with that Mod Podge just to help protect it. Once I was done with that, I took my little sticks here that I had cut out and I painted them all with my crimson, and then I'm going to hot glue them all the way around my napkin here to make it look like a cute little picture frame. I just love this. It's so cute. Anyways, I love snowman. I don't know if I love snowmen or gingerbread men more. I love them all. Then I took my snowman and I started painting them and coloring them. I'm coloring the hat of the dad black, and I did front and back. The hat on the mom I did with the red, and I left the little ball at the end white. And I did the front and back of that one as well. And it was kind of hard for me to tell exactly where the lines were on this, so I had to pull up the pictures of them on Amazon to just kind of get an idea how they were painted and where the lines were. But I took the little kid snowman and I painted the hat with the parakeet green. Now I am trying to kind of duplicate the colors that are on that napkin. So it's kind of like, you know, this is the family and they're standing in front of a snowflake with their family picture, right? I don't know. You can call me weird. I just thought it was kind of a fun idea. So I used a black Sharpie here to kind of outline where I wanted to color in his scarf, the dad's. And then I'm using that parakeet green and making some lines, because on the napkin, he's got pretty light color green and red stripes on his scarf. And so I'm just going to paint the next spots with my crimson. And then on the little child, I painted a red scarf, and on the mom I'm going to do a green scarf. And I do decorate these. The little child, I added some white snowflakes. This one I used a fluorescent green paint marker and made like some holly leaves and added some berries. And then here on all of them, I'm making their faces, doing some dots for eyes and mouths, and with a orange Sharpie I'm making their carrot nose. And then I colored the mittens on the little kid black. And then after I was all done, I gave them all some buttons here. And then I went ahead and took some of this Folk Art Extreme Silver Glitter acrylic paint, and I'm just dabbing it all around the edge of that snowflake. I felt like there was too much white and it needed some more detail. And then I took my embossing tool and dabbed little dots all around it. After that, I measured where the middle part was, and I'm marking it so I know where to put my glue. And then I'm going to use some wood glue and hot glue to attach the 8-inch chunky slat to the back of the 10-inch. Then I'm going to put some more wood glue and hot glue on the top of that 8-inch slat, and then I'm going to add my snowflake to the top. And then I'm using a tumbling tower block. I'm going to hot glue it to the back of the dad. Now I wish I would have moved him over just a little bit more, because he's kind of covering the little child on this napkin. Thought I had it in the right spot, but apparently it wasn't. And I added the tumbling tower blocks on the back of the mom and the child, and then added them to the front of my little sign here. Now I thought about maybe putting some kind of words on this, but I thought, no, not everything has to have words. So I'm just going to hot glue these on. And then after that, I'm going to take some red ribbon that I had. Well, no, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I took some more of that silvery, glittery acrylic paint, and I'm dabbing it around the snowman as well. I just felt like they needed a little bit more color, not just so much white. Now I'm taking that red ribbon. This came off of some DIY that I had, and it was sitting here, so I thought, oh, perfect, I'll just use this. I felt like that base needed a little more color, so I'm just going to hot glue it all around that base, front and sides. And there it is. Isn't that just adorable? It's the little snowman family with their family portrait. I love it. You have to let me know if you love it too. See how I made his hat, tried to make it look like popcorn and berries like on the napkin? Okay, DIY number 2. So I'm going to use these fake snowballs from Dollar Tree. I've had these for a year or two. I got these, I believe, from Amazon, these little green picks. And then this I got from Hobby Lobby, 50% off. I love using these little candle rings to pull off the greenery on them. I'm going to use this chunky slat. I think this is the 8-inch from Dollar Tree. This is the 12-inch wood piece from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. I'm going to use these beautiful rub-on transfers from Essential Stencils. I just love them. They are just adorable. And then this wood snowflake that also came from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to start off by filling the hole on that with my spackling, and then I'm going to paint it as well as the wood pieces there with my white color. Once they're all dry, I am going to take my little rub-on transfer that I wanted to use. I cut it out, and I'm going to add them to the front, and I'm just going to use my little tool here to rub. And then I'm going to start lifting the plastic piece off of it. When I lift it, I usually go kind of slow because I want to make sure that if there's any piece that's coming up, I just lay that plastic piece down, rub a little bit more, and then it will stay. And there it is. It is so cute. I love it. Then I took a whole bunch of the snowflakes that were on that piece, and I cut them out, and I'm just going to add them all around my big snowflake. And just doing the same thing as I did with the snowman. You just rub. And these are really easy. That doesn't take very long for them to come off. I love their rub-on transfers, honestly. And you know what? I was telling my husband the other day, Dollar Tree, if you're listening, you need to come out with Christmas rub-on transfers. They have fall. I don't know why they don't have Christmas, right? Anyways, once I was done, I took my Midnight Sky by Waverly or Night Sky, and I am just making little stitch marks all the way around the snowflake. Then I marked the middle of that chunky slat and marked where to put my glue on this other wood piece. I'm using my wood glue and hot glue to attach that to the back of the chunky slat. Then I'm going to use some wood glue and hot glue on the top part of that wood piece so that I can attach my snowflake. I did lay my snowflake down and kind of trace where I wanted to put it so that I knew where to put the glue. Then I took another one of those snowflakes from the rub-on transfers. It was a little bit bigger, and I added it right to the middle. Then I'm going to take some of this greenery. I'm going to use some floral wire here and just wrap it all the way around just to kind of help keep it all together. Then I'm going to hot glue it right in place. After that, I'm going to take 3 of those snowballs, and I'm just going to hot glue them right in front. And then I'm going to take some sheer blue ribbon. I believe this came from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to make a double loop finger bow. I'm just wrapping my fingers like you see. You always want to cut extra on the end, and then I'm going to come up around what's between my fingers, go around it from the bottom, come up and through the loop that I just made, and tighten. And then I'm just going to dovetail the ends, and then I am going to hot glue it to my sign, just like you see me doing right here. And that's all there was for this. I think this is so adorable. I absolutely love this. Oh my goodness. You'll have to tell me what you think about this one as well. So here's DIY number 4. So for this DIY, I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color Night Sky, this apple barrel blue cotton. I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paints in the color Pumpkin and Snow White. I'm going to use this cute little snowman cutout from Dollar Tree. I'm also going to use this. I created this with my Cricut. It says Just Chillin'. And then this was something I got a pack of these from a thrift store. You could use, if you don't have one of these, which I'm sure you're not going to, you could use any kind of sign from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to paint it white. Now I go over the whole thing white, and then I did, I drew kind of like a hilly line on it with a pencil, and then I painted the bottom part with the second layer of white, and then I'm going over the top part of it with my night sky. I wanted it to kind of look like a hill of snow in the background and the sky, so that's why I did the drawing. While that was drying, I took this blue cotton and I painted the scarf and the hat with that color. I painted the little ball on the end of the hat with my white, and then I went over the nose with my pumpkin color, and then I'm going to paint the rest of the snowman with my white. I took a small paintbrush and was just being really careful going around the edges. I ended up using the smaller paintbrush all along the snowman. It would have been easier with a little bit bigger paintbrush, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't get the paint on the orange or the blue, because I am a messy painter, and usually I do. I was really proud of myself that I did not get it on. Well, I got a little bit on the scarf, but not much. After that, I painted another snowflake with that white, and then I'm using a pencil to draw on the eyes, and then using my black paint marker to paint it in, and then I'm going to make some little dots for its mouth. And after that, we'll have to see what I do, because I don't remember, even though I just did this today. I'm going to take, a white marker, and I'm just going to make little dots inside of the black eyes. Then I'm going to take that snowflake and hot glue it to the top to cover up the hole. And then I am not a painter. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I thought, okay, I know I see people when they make snow and stuff, they do some shadowing. So I took my elephant color, tried to do some shadowing. I don't know, you guys. I don't know what I'm doing. So then I took my wood glue here and my hot glue. I'm putting it all along the back side of my little snowman, and I'm going to glue it to the front of my sign. And then I'm going to add my saying. I'm going to add the word just right above the snowman, and then chillin' just down this side. And I just love the way this came out. It was so, so cute. I had no idea what I was going to do for this. I'm using a white paint marker here to make little snowflake star kind of things. But when I saw that I had this snowman in my stuff, and I saw on Pinterest a picture of a snowman and it said just chillin', and I thought, oh my gosh, that is such a cute saying to go with a snowman. So then the rest just came to me after I saw this snowman. I just thought this is the perfect snowman that I want to use. And then I had to dig and try and find something to fit it. So as you can see there, I put some buttons down, and then I'm taking 4 tumbling tower blocks and gluing them together end to end. And then I also made a strip of 3 tumbling tower blocks. Once I had them all glued together, I painted them with my white. And then once they were dry, I'm going to use my Titebond Quick and Thick. I always forget what it's called. And hot glue to attach that to the bottom of my sign. And then I'm going to add the other one to the back side of the ones that I just added, as you can see. And there it is. Oh my goodness. It is just too adorable. Oh, I love it. You have to let me know what you think about this one as well. And let me know which one is your favorite today. I'd love to find out. Okay, DIY number 1. So I'm going to take one of these MDF pieces from Dollar Tree. I've had this in my stash for quite a while, but you could use any that they have there. I'm going to sand off as much of the saying as I can, and then I'm going to paint the whole thing with my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. Once it was dry, I took this extreme glitter in the color silver by Folk Art. I love this stuff. In fact, I'm almost out. I have to get more. But I'm just going to go over that whole thing with this glittery paint. And you guys, this is better than using glitter, because you don't get glitter all over everything. And it's just, it's beautiful. I love it. I was letting that dry.
I took these 3 snowman people that I got last year from Amazon. They are in my Amazon store if you're interested. I painted them all with my white, and then I'm going to do the details. So for the dad, I'm going to paint the hat with my black chalk paint. And then after that was all painted, I'm going to take, it's Folk Arts Nantucket Blue. Now this is almost exactly the same color as Waverly's Night Sky. I just don't have very much of the night sky left, so I just went ahead and used my Nantucket. Then on the mom, I'm using Waverly's Dusk on her hat and her scarf. And then on the little ball, I do white. Now on the little child, I'm going to do both colors. So I'm going to do the Nantucket on the big part of the hat and gloves. And then I'm going to do the trim with the dusk color. And I'll do his scarf. I don't remember what color I did this scarf, actually. I then took a little embossing tool here, and I'm just going to do some polka dots on the top part of the mom's hat, and then I'm going to do some stripes along the bottom part of the hat to make it look like a fun cap. And I also added some polka dots to her scarf. I then took a pencil and I drew out the long part of the scarf. I don't know what you would call that. The tail? I don't know. And then I just used that same paint to paint it in. And then I just kind of went over the edges with my black paint marker just to kind of give it a little more detail, cover up the raw edges. I don't know. I just felt like it was going to look better. And I tried to make it look like, you know, it was tied over the scarf, I guess you could say. Anyways, I'm just going to go around the rest of the scarf with my pin there. And then I'm going to color in his face. And after I color his face in, I colored the mom and the little kids' faces in as well. Used an orange paint marker there for the nose. And then I'm going to give them some buttons. So I just kind of went with the coordinating paint color that matches their hats and stuff. And then after that, I took this Let It Snow sign from Dollar Tree and I painted it with the Nantucket. And then I painted the snowflake with that dusk. And I also went over the snowflake with that silver glittery paint. And then after I was done with that, I took my snow text and I'm going to go over the top part of all the letters and then like anywhere snow might have fallen on it. That's what I'm trying to make it look like at least. And I'm just kind of going all the way around the words with that. Then I took some of these reed wood sticks. These come from Amazon. I cut them down to the size I wanted. They are in my Amazon store if you're interested. And I painted them with that Nantucket blue. And then I'm using my Type Bond Quick and Thick multi-surface glue here with a paintbrush. I'm just going over the area that I'm going to add my sign to. And then I'm just going to put it right where I need it. Then I'm going to add a little more glue to the bottom, that same glue, and then I'm going to add the wood piece or the MDF piece from Dollar Tree right to that area. Then I marked where I'm going to put the glue and on the snowman, and I'm just adding my Type Bond glue to the bottom of each one, and then I'm just going to glue them in place. And then after I have those all glued, I apparently didn't record this, but I added some trees there, and there it is. Now tell me if it needs something. I kept thinking it needs something else, but I couldn't figure out what. So let me know what you think it might need, but I thought it came out pretty cute. Okay, DIY number 3. So I'm going to take this cool mold I just got from Amazon. I just loved it. And I'm going to take some clay and I'm just going to soften it up here. And then I'm just going to press it all in to my mold. This is a mold of a snow globe. And it also has 2 trees and a deer, a reindeer, 2 little gingerbread people, and a snowman and a house. And Or is that two houses? I can't tell. But anyways, I'm just going to use the snow globe and the snowman. I did do two of the trees, but I only end up using one. So I have another tree sitting here for something else. But once I had it all in, I took this, this came from Dollar Tree in the cake aisle, the cake decorating aisle. And I am just making it, just getting off the excess so that it's smooth to the edge. Then I'm just going to take them all out very carefully and just kind of let them dry for a little bit. Now the snowman came out really nice, but I was a little worried about the trees being smaller, so I just kind of tipped it over like this and just pulled that mold back until the trees released. And I did not use any cornstarch or anything. And it worked just fine. So then after it dried for a little bit, I took my Nantucket and I'm going to paint about 3/4 of the, maybe even a little bit more than 3/4 of the inside of the snow globe and all around the sides with that Nantucket. And then after I had that part painted, I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. I'm going to go over the rest of the whole bottom part of the globe and the stand part of the globe with my white. And then after I have this all painted and dry, I didn't realize I showed you all of this. Anyways, okay, on with the show. I'm going to take, I'm going to paint the snowman too. So I painted the face and the arms and the body of the snowman white. I painted his hat black. I left the stripe along the hat for the Nantucket blue. I also painted his scarf with my Nantucket blue. And then I took my crimson color, my crimson red, and painted the little package he was holding, and then took my, just kind of a gold color, I'm not sure which one it was, and painted the bow that was around the present. And then, of course, I added some paint around his eyes. I think I used my paint. Very, very, very fine, small paintbrush. Then I took this silver again, and I'm going over the snowflakes, and I'm also, after I had all the snowflakes painted, I went around the rims of the bottom part there too. And then I went around the Nantucket blue of the snow globe. And I just love this because it really does make it shimmer and it makes it look more like a snow globe. Yeah, I love it. Anyways, I'm going to take some antique green here, and I'm going to paint that small tree with my antique green. I'm just going to paint the sides and the front of all of it. And I didn't even try the big one to see if it would fit with that snowman. That snowman was a little bit bigger than what I was expecting. But anyways, it doesn't matter. But once I have it all done, then I'm going to use my Type Bond Quick and Thick multi-surface glue, and I'm going to brush it all along the back side of my snowman and glue him in place. And I'm going to do the same thing with that tree. I'm going to glue that in place, and then I'm going to go over the front of the tree with a little bit of white paint to make it look like there's snow on it. I have to tell you something really funny about the first DIY. My grandson came in just as I was finishing it, and he goes, "Mimi, that is the best 2D craft you have made yet." I just laughed. He was like, I'm like, "Oh, you like it?" "Oh, yes." He just loved it. But it just cracked me up. I guess nothing else has impressed him that I've made. Oh, kids. Anyways, I'm taking the, that's where I was doing the snow on the tree. And as you can see, I made some polka dots too on that. Look at, this little breadboard comes from Hobby Lobby. I painted it white. And then I'm just using my Type Bond here once it was glued. Oh yeah, I went over the white breadboard with some of that silver sparkly paint. And then I am going to add my little snow globe to it. And then I took some of this ribbon. You guys, I have had this for many years. I got it at a craft store in Oregon called Craft Warehouse. Some of you that live over in the Northwest know what I'm talking about, but I'm just making bows by doing the awareness ribbon, scrunching them up in the middle. I'm going to tie some twine around it. Now the white ribbon, of course, came from Dollar Tree, and it does not have wire in it, so it's a little harder to work with when you're making a bow, but I got it to work. And then I'm just going to dovetail the ends by folding them in half and cutting at an angle. And then I'm just going to use hot glue to glue it at the neck part of that breadboard. And then I'm just going to add another one of these little glittery snowflakes there. And then I'm going to add some of that ribbon for the hanger. And this is a very small sign. I really wanted to do more. I had high hopes for doing 8 projects, and yeah, I only got that first one done in one day. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to get 8 projects done. So I really wanted to get more done and wanted to do a bigger sign, but I just ran out of time. I did a lot of painting on this video, so that takes up a lot of time. But anyways, I'll have more in the future, I am sure. But there it is. I just love it. Hey, DIY and number 4. So I had this snowman that I got at a thrift store for 49 cents. And I'm going to remove the wire from it, and I'm just uncurling it. I was trying to, once I uncurled it, it's going to pull it out, but it didn't want to come out. So I took my wire cutters to cut the curved part, thinking, okay, it will come out a little easier. Oh no, I think they glued it or something. No, maybe not glued, but it was really in there tight. So I couldn't get it to come out. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll just cut around it and just hopefully there's nothing sticking out. So I'm cutting everything as close to the snowman as I could get, but it was still poking out, and I didn't want it to poke me or anybody else. And I tried, and sure enough, I was able to get it out with my pliers. So then I took my Waverly chalk paint in the color hazelnut and painted the whole thing hazelnut. And you're probably wondering, why would you paint a snowman hazelnut? Well, guess what? We are making a gingerbread snowman. That's right. This summer, Robin and I had a Team Snowman versus Team Gingerbread video for Christmas in July, and it was a lot of fun. And I know she's Team Snowman and I'm Team Gingerbread, so I thought, I'm going to trick her. I'm going to get my gingerbread in here and make a gingerbread snowman. So anyways, I'm just making the icing marks all around my snowman and then making just some little dots. And I do that around everything. I'm going to make the little icing marks around the mittens. And then I decided I didn't really like that, so I just kind of painted in the bottom part of the mittens, and I love that much better. And then I'm just making my little dots there. I'm going to color in some eyes for my cute little gingerbread snowman here. And if you have been with me for a while, you know how much I love gingerbread. I've done quite a few videos lately with them. But anyways, I'm going to make a little nose, a little mouth. I'm looking at it, and I did make some eyebrows. I was debating on cheeks, and I thought, no, I'm just going to leave the cheeks alone. But I'm going to make some buttons, but then I'm like, I'm not really happy with the buttons here. So I went through my stash, and I found some small peppermints ornaments that I got from Hobby Lobby. So I'm just cutting the little ornament part off, and I'm going to glue each one of those over those buttons. So now he has peppermint buttons. And then after I am done gluing all of those in place, I'm going to, what am I doing? Oh, I'm going to give the eyes a little bit of life. And then I'm going to take this ribbon here from Michael's, and I am going to just kind of glue it in place. I didn't want it to cover the mouth, so I'm just finding where I want it to lay a little bit of glue to hold it in place. And then I took another piece of ribbon. I'm going to cut that down, and I'm going to make the ends of my scarf for my little gingerbread person here. And then I'm going to glue it in place once I had it where I wanted it. And then I took I'm going to glue that one in place there too. And then I'm going to take another glittery silver snowflake. These came from Hobby Lobby, and I put that above his scarf. Then I took some more of that bamboo wood and painted 2 of them hazelnut. And then I'm going to add some hot glue to the top of it. And I have this ribbon that says Merry Christmas. So I just cut out the part that said Merry Christmas and glued it to the top of my sticks. And then I'm going to glue the sticks to the back of my ginger snowman's hands, and then I'm going to add some of those silvery snowflakes to the top of the sign. I took 2 brown tumbling tower blocks that were in my stash, and I am just going to glue that to the back. I could have painted it hazelnut, but I was tired of painting. And there it is. Oh my gosh, I just love this. I hope you do too. And yeah, not bad for a gingerbread snowman. What do you think? DIY number 2. So I have this Chalk Couture stencil. This is new this year. It's called Back Again Someday. And I'm going to use it, since this is the first time I'm using it, I am going to fuzz it. If you're not familiar with Chalk Couture, this is a self-adhesive stencil. We call them transfers, but you want to fuzz it the first time you use it so it doesn't pull up your paint. And then I took a 10-inch wood round that came from Hobby Lobby. I painted it Snow White. And as you can see, I actually painted 2 of them because I originally was going to do this on an unpainted surface. I did not, and I wasn't sure how I wanted to do this stencil, and I wasn't happy with the way I did it. So I decided to just cover it like that with my Titebond glue. And then I used my little clamps here to just kind of hold it together while I finished working on it. And I'm taking Black Velvet by Chalk Couture, the paste, and I'm going to go over the whole thing with black because I wanted the base to be black, and then you'll see what I do with the rest. Now, if you're not familiar with Chalk Couture, or if you've seen me do it and you've thought about, oh, that looks interesting, or you want to give it a try, in case you don't know, I am a Chalk Couture designer, so I have a link to my page in my description box. And we have a few subscriptions. One of them is, I think it's $21.99 a month now. And you get an exclusive transfer with some coordinating chalk paste and a surface. And you can sign up for that, but you do have to sign up for at least 3 months if you do sign up for it before you can cancel. And we also have members perk, which is, I think is 20 or 21. I can't remember if the prices have gone up, but that you get 30% off of anything you order. And then you get that $20 back in product credit. So there's links in my description box for Chalk Couture, and all the information is in there or on my page. If you have any questions, you can always email me with the questions. I'd be happy to answer them. But here I took my red paint and I painted that cardinal. I'm taking that red one was cherry. This is marmalade. I'm going to paint his little beak and his little nose with it. So I'm using just a small brush to paint on that chalk paste. And then I'm going to, of course, use that color for his nose. I'm going to also use my that black velvet, and I wanted the hat to be more of a solid color. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this with a solid color, and then I did that with the arms as well. And then I'm going to use my cherry, nope, I'm going to use, I can't remember what color this was. It's a shimmer something, and I don't think it's one that we normally carry. I think this was one of our special ones. And it's a beautiful color. I absolutely love it. But I did his eyes with that, and then I did my cherry with the scarf. And you guys, this thing is so stinking adorable. I absolutely love how this came out. But once I had that all done, I decided to take Waverly chalk paint in the color Dusk, and I decided to go ahead and paint all around my snowman. And there's a reason why. Because the stencil has snowflakes, and you're not going to see the snowflakes on white. So this is Shimmer Frost. I believe it's a new color, and that's why I wanted to go around it with that Dusk. And so I'm just going to go over that those snowflakes with that Shimmer Frost, and it is so stinking adorable. But anyways, I know it seems like a long way around doing all of this, and it kind of was, but man, I was having a hard time deciding how I wanted to do this and what colors I wanted to use. And yeah, so that's how it came out. So I'm going to take one of these plastic plates that come from dishes, I don't know what they call them, from Dollar Tree, and I think it's in the garden section usually. And I'm going to fill it up with some of that faux snow, and then I'm going to take my Fix-All glue and go around the rim of that, as well as some hot glue. So I'm just leaving a few gaps for my hot glue, and then I'm going to put my hot glue in there, and I'm going to add my sign to this. Now, before you add your sign, make sure you don't have any glue strings, because I did, and I can see the glue strings in there, and it drives me nuts. But anyways, once I had it all together, glued together, I'm going to take some of this lacy ribbon. It's not really lace, it's kind of papery, and I'm going to glue it all around the edge there. And I don't even know where I got this. It was in my stash. I didn't I forgot I had this. I don't even know where it came from, but I just went around the edge with that. I thought it would be cute. And then I just took some white sparkly snowflake ribbon. I'm going to staple it to the back. That's one of the reasons why I put the two together, to cover that one up so I didn't have to throw it away, but also so I could staple it in the hanger. And look how adorable he is. You shake it and it looks like he's got snow on him. I love it. I hope you do too.